Hello, this is Albert. Now I'm going to show you how to use MaxQuant to process bottom-up proteomics data. This is the program MaxQuant we use. Before we use that, make sure that you have entered all the modifications you are looking for in this configuration tab. Yeah, it's right here. Um, so now let me show you how to add an entry. Before you do that, you can look for what you need in this table. If there is a built-in entry for the modification you want, then you don't need this step. But if it's not there, you can add a customized one. Just choose Add. Click this button, and it will create a new entry for you. Or if you are going to copy the setting from an earlier entry, just choose duplicate, and you can move these entries up and down using these things, or delete that using remove. Okay, and when you choose an entry, you can enter or edit the name and the description and the composition. Here you must follow this format. These are the atoms to be added in the standard type. If it's substitution, then it will be replacing the residue you choose. Now it's standard because I'm adding these atoms to that. So, 2 carbons, 5 hydrogens, 3 oxygens, 1 phosphorus. You can also change it here by clicking this change button, and it will show you this window. You can modify that here. Uh, if you want any isotopes, you can use these things like CX, NX, OX, OY. For example, CX stands for carbon 13. Alright, um, after it's updated, you will see this mass shift, and the position, it can be anywhere or the terminus or not the terminus. And type, these are the available types. If it creates a new terminus, so your peptide will have a branch, then you should define it here. But here for my modification, I don't need that. And specificity, it's the amino acid residue to be modified. Uh, this one is on serine, so I chose serine. If you want to add one or delete one, use these buttons for your operations. And these are the neutral losses in the mass spec and diagnose the peaks. Here I don't need these things. And file name. This is the file that this new entry uh, will be saved in. So you can find this file here, MaxQuant bin configuration. This is the file modification.local.xml as you define here. So if you are going to use the same setting on a different computer, you can just copy this file and carry it with you. Just put it in the same folder of the other computer. After you are done with this editing or entering, just click Modify Table and Save Changes. Yeah, you must do both. If you miss any of them, then this table won't be changed. Um, if you have a special proteases, you can change it here or add one here too. Just click this proteases button. But it's not so commonly used. modifications are used very common in our research. All right, after this is done, um, you can load your file. Well, I'm not sure if you should restart this program to apply the changes you just finished in configuration. Maybe you do. Uh, to ensure the result, just restart it. Um, then you can load your raw file of MaxQuant. Just click load and it will show you a browser. Just find your file and it comes here. You can set up a group actually, a group of multiple files, but here I have only one. Then group specific parameters. The type, now I use standard modifications. Here we have variable modifications and fixed modifications. Enter what you are looking for. For example, if I want to add this new entry to that, click this. Now it will come into this list. If you want to remove it, click the other button and it will be removed from this list. And the instrument setting. We are using Orbitrap, and these are the, the, the search tolerances. I normally just use the default. And digestion, I use chymotrypsin and trypsin, a combination of both proteases. And maximum mixed cleavages. Uh, Normally 3 or 4 will be enough. Of course, you can choose a bigger number, but you will slow down your search. So if you don't want to wait too long, just use up to 4. Don't make it too much. Label free quantification, miscellaneous. Here I always leave them the default setting. And sequences. This is very important. You gotta find a FASTA file for your sequence. So the program will search this FASTA file for the sequences you want. Um, and you can choose whether to include the contaminants or not. If you check this box, it will be good, but it will be slower. And the sizes of these peptides. Protein quantification tables. You can choose what tables to upload. And here are some tolerances. And FDR and other related stuff. Folder locations. You can choose where to save these things. And performances. So before you start the run, this should be blank. And you can choose number of processors to be used. It depends on the hardware you use. Then click start, it will start to run. It normally takes at least half an hour and can be longer depending on your settings and the number of files. Of course, also the performance of your computer. And then after it's done, you can see the file in visualization. If you already opened this tab before the run is finished, then when you see this again, it won't be updated until you restart the program. Um, you can zoom in to view the details of the spectrum, and these are the tables it outputs. Let's see this identifications of proteins. Uh, this is the protein we have show in protein sequences. Yeah, this is the sequences. The coverage is shown in green. Those identified sequences will be shown in green, and the percentage of coverage is shown in this table. Let me find that. Okay, sequence coverage 94.6%. It's a very, very big number. So the quality is super good. And peptides, these are the peptides we found. Modification specific peptides. So you can see these modifications in this table. Evidence, MS. Here's just the list of those MS spectra. These are the tabs for every single modification you define. Um, you can also see these spectra. Display selected spectrum, and it will be shown here like this. Okay. Let me look for the peptide that I'm interested in. It's this thing. This peptide includes the catalytic steering I'm looking for. Uh, yeah, a lot of ions were identified, so the quality of this peptide was very good. I'm happy to see that. Yeah, I think that's all for basic use. This program may or may not be compatible with your computer if it just doesn't run correctly on your computer. You can try another computer. The laptop I always use in the lab can work with this without any problem. And now this one is my personal computer. It also works. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.